Welcome inside the arena in Gwinnett Center for semifinal number 2 on the girls 5A draw here on the GHSA tournament. Sam Radin, Scott Janovitz on the GHSA network, and tonight we'll find out who will play opportunity in tomorrow's championship game against McEachern to play for the state title. It'll be Hillgrove and North Gwinnett, and Hillgrove tonight has a special opportunity with their head coach, Cheryl Fowler, retiring at the end of the season. They could maybe send their coach out on top with a chance to play for the state championship.
This could potentially be her last game. Even if it is, though, she's accomplished a lot prior to tonight. Over 500 wins, Cobb County Coach of the Year 4 times, and has led this Hillgrove team to the Final Four, and it's their first ever Final Four appearance.
Meanwhile, for North Gwinnett, they've got one of the best players in the state, if not the country, in junior Lexi Brown. She scores 18 a game, 8 assists per game, 7 rebounds per game. There's nothing she can't do. It should be fun watching her tonight.
Yeah, I think while she may not be the most talented player in the country or the state, she is the most productive high school player I've had a chance of seeing. You said it, she does it all. Rebounds a ton, forces about 4.5 to 5 steals per game, can shoot lights out from three-point range, and loves the three, so that's going to be something to watch out for here tonight, and gets her teammates involved. Does a great job controlling the tempo of games, and again, that'll be a huge storyline tonight.
Let's meet the starting lineups. First for the North Gwinnett Bulldogs, who come in 4th in the state. They're 26-3. Alongside Lexi Brown in the backcourt, they've got Bailey Rexing, and then up front they've got Peyton Whitted, Ariel Johnson, and Jordan Hyatt. We'll introduce you to the Hillgrove starting lineup in a moment as the tap is controlled by the Hillgrove Hawks, the number 7 team in the state of Georgia. Selena Rodriguez, their star. In the backcourt with her is Marissa Lester. Rounding it out is Meredith Heyer, Macy Steed, and Mackenzie Ingram. And a turnover for the Hawks on their first possession, so the Bulldogs will get a chance to scratch first.
Yeah, really nice inside-out game for the Hawks. You mentioned Rodrigo in the backcourt, and then big Mackenzie Ingram, 6'1" sophomore, averaged 11 and 7 down low.
Hawks with some pressure, but the Bulldogs able to beat it relatively easily. In the left corner, a three-point shot from Johnson is no good. It's tipped and controlled by the Hawks. And they'll come the other way with it. Still no score, 30 seconds in.
Hillgrove likes to play an aggressive pressure defense and an up-tempo offense. You saw them there, tried to push it. Got themselves a nice little mid-range jumper.
Maisie Steed with that bucket, the first of the ball game. 2-0, Hillgrove with the lead. Of course, it's one Powder Springs team already in the final with McEachern. Hillgrove trying to make it another one. Deep three that time by Lexi Brown. It's off the mark. Rebound to Rodrigo, risky pass, and Lexi Brown's not having any of that. Bulldogs with it. Still haven't scored on the drive. Nothing doing there. A stick back attempt won't fall. And another stick back attempt won't fall, that time for Jordan Hyatt. And underneath the other way, a quick outlet sends it ahead, and Marissa Lester's unable to score. And we get our first substitution of the game, just 90 seconds in, and checking out of the lineup this time will be Marissa Lester, and in for her is Thomas.
Talk about the up-tempo offense Hillgrove likes to run. You've already seen it here. When they get a rebound, they waste no time pushing that ball up the floor.
Still 2-0 in the early going. There's Rodrigo, leads the team in scoring at 12 per game. On the give and go, nice basket there, and the foul for Mackenzie Ingram. So it's 4-0 Hillgrove, and a chance for Ingram at the line.
Yeah, great, well-executed pick and roll there between Rodrigo and Ingram. Freed up Ingram, a nice pass and a nice soft touch from the big off the glass.
Here's another look at it.
Nice
Screen and roll. And as you mentioned, nice job finishing. She found her way to the goal, and Ingram's free throw is good as well. So 5-0, the Hawks on top early, 2 minutes gone. Lexi Brown to Bailey Rexing. Brown just looks so athletic. Long arms, built like a basketball player.
And has a very good understanding of the game, always playing under control.
Goes behind her back, then sends it in to Jordan Hyatt. Shot coming out of the left corner is no good. Rebound comes off to Ingram, and the Hawks will try to run it. Beautiful pass underneath. Can't finish under there is Diamond Thomas, but a whistle and a foul, and the Hawks will be right back at the line, and that's the second on Jordan Hyatt.
You got to do a better job getting back defensively if you're North Gwinnett. You shouldn't get beat down the floor on a missed three-point shot. You have 3 offensive players behind the three-point line. They don't have far to run. You shouldn't get beat down the court that badly.
Mackenzie Ingram shoots at 50% from the floor, just slightly better at the line, but she looked good on that one. And she connects on the free throw to give her 4 points and her team a 6-0 lead. Alexis Munlin in for the first time in the North Gwinnett lineup. That one is going to be short. And Munlin steps onto the floor and steps into a rebound. Ball fake, now a pull-up jump shot. That one's no good from Ariel Johnson. And the foul goes down, though, for big Peyton Whitted.
We've talked a lot about Brown already, but both Whitted and Johnson are elite players in their own right. We've seen them both look for their own shots. It's because they can both fill it up in a hurry. 13 and 14 points per game, respectively.
Ingram with a deep shot, a 3, in fact, from Mackenzie Ingram. She's on fire early, 7 of her team's 9. And Hillgrove has their largest lead. Hillgrove jumped out to a 5-0 lead. And now on the drive, this time from Whitted, we get a foul. And Whitted averages a double-double on the season.
Yeah, has offers from Georgia Tech, Virginia Tech, Auburn, as a result of her play at both ends of the floor. And a nice play there. It was really good high-pressure defense from Hillgrove. And Whitted, as a result, took her man off the dribble. Good, hard, aggressive play there.
Whitted's first free throw tickles the twine. Substitution now in the Hillgrove lineup, and Meredith Hyatt checks out for the first time. Second lefty free throw is good from Peyton Whitted. So Whitted has all 4 of her team's points. It's a 5-point game. Nice look underneath there by Rodrigo, and fouled on the play is Marissa Lester, and she'll go to the line.
A good backdoor cut there from Lester. 62% free throw shooter on the season. Emory's interested in Miss Lester. You're an Emory grad, aren't you?
I am. Last time I checked, Lester no good on that free throw. Drops over 7 points per game. Couple of purposeful dribbles there at the line, and she tosses the second one through. And that was a quick break for Meredith Hyatt, who comes in to get Lester. I mean, Hyatt, I don't know if she even sat down.
Hyatt will be heading to North Georgia State and University for softball next season. Dual sport star is Meredith Hyatt.
6-point lead here for the Hawks. They've led the whole way. They scored the game's first 5. 4:30 to play first quarter. Here's another look for Whitted, and Peyton Whitted has been the story for North Gwinnett.
Well, don't be distracted or confused or misled by her height. She is a very good shooter. In fact, has range beyond the 3-point line you saw there on the nice feathery mid-range jumper.
Yeah, we saw that out of Ingram too. Both the front courts for these teams are versatile. Man-to-man defense for the Bulldogs of North Gwinnett, and it forces a Hawks turnover. Rexing will bring it up. They're playing Lexi Brown off the ball right now, and Rexing turns it over. Ahead of the field this time for Diamond Thomas, but she can't finish it. And now a run out the other way for the Bulldogs. Here's Brown underneath, and Whitted draws the foul. Nice job by Whitted to run the floor, and by Brown to wait for her teammate to get free.
Yeah, good look there from Brown not to force that 3-point shot, instead go down low to Whitted. But it all started with Bailey Rexing getting back on defense, forcing that strip, and then sending the ball the other way.
Higher called for that foul. It's her first. Peyton Whitted has added another one. She's got 7 points, all the scoring thus far for her team. She averages 14 a game. At this pace, she might have it by the end of the quarter. The second one's good too. 10-8, North Gwinnett's made a move. They were down 9-2. They've scored 6 of the game's last 7. And an answer comes, though, for Hillgrove as they find it free that time to Marissa Lester. But check that. Tiffany Schick instead on that bucket.
Yeah, Schick, a productive player on the bench for this team. 6 points, 3 assists, 4.5 rebounds per game.
Rexing lost it, and an easy layup the other way for Lester, and just like that, Hillgrove has pumped it back up to 6 at 14-8 after a promising run for North Gwinnett, and we get a timeout. We'll keep it right here.
Well, Hillgrove loves that aggressive style, high-pressure defense, likes to turn its opponents over. Surprised, though, to see this North Gwinnett squad struggle with it. Have such good skill in the backcourt. You wouldn't think they'd be susceptible to turning the ball over here, but they have of late, and it's led to a couple easy baskets for the Hawks.
Only their 6th year of existence at Hillgrove High School, and already to the Final Four. And maybe a date tomorrow night with McEachern. But still, just 3 minutes to go here in this first quarter. Plenty of time. Risky pass that time for Lexi Brown, and she's fortunate her team didn't lose it. They come away with it in the backcourt. It was touched by a Hawks player, no over and back. And Brown pulls up there, settling in nicely for that jumper, her first points of the game. First point for any Bulldog other than Peyton Whitted.
Well, only her second shot. She took that long, ill-advised 3 to start the game, and only her first shot since then.
Higher directs traffic there from the left wing. Tries to send it inside to Schick, who had it stripped away. Lexi Brown, it's a 5-on-4 break for the Bulldogs if they hurry. Here's Whitted, baseline jumper short, rebound higher, nothing doing there for the Hawks. For the Bulldogs, I should say, and the Hawks bring it back the other way. It's deflected out of bounds, and it remains with Hillgrove as we take a look at North Gwinnett's bucket.
Yeah, nice little crossover there to get her defender off balance, and then a sweet pull-up J.
Lexi Brown looks smooth on that play. Coming up on 2 minutes to play first quarter. Hawks have led the whole way. They're up by 4 now.
Of course, it's worth noting she is, in fact, the daughter of the great Dee Brown, NBA legend.
And a baseline jump shot there for Ingram, who had been quiet for a moment, but now she's got 9 points. Ingram and Whitted are going at it.
An impressive underclassman. Whitted just a junior, and Ingram a sophomore.
Brown tried a 3, no good. Rebound to Rodrigo. Rodrigo, nice crossover to get it in the left hand. Hangs in the air, no good, but a foul, and Selena Rodrigo is going to be at the free throw line.
Nice aggressive take, called it a crossover, getting both Whitted and Lexi Brown out of position and off balance, and then earned herself a trip to the charity stripe as a result.
Another academic star as well. She's headed to Wake Forest next year. She misses that free throw. I talked with Coach Fowler about Selena Rodrigo's game before tip-off, and she talked about the vision that Selena Rodrigo has. Rodrigo hits that one. It's her first point of the game.
Right around 6.5 assists per game. 5 rebounds and almost 4 steals. She can really fill up a stat book.
Here's Lexi Brown pausing in the lane. No good. Gets her own miss. Goes up again from the left side. No good. Rodrigo comes down with it. Rodrigo looking to push it. Brown's behind her. Tips it free and steals it. Onto the loose floor, or the loose ball rather, is Ariel Johnson on the open floor. And Rexing tries, no good. Whitted follow, good. And it's been all kinds of buckets for Peyton Whitted, who's got 10 now.
Really good job of rebounding that basketball, but also not bringing it back down, going directly up with it, not allowing the defender to have a chance at that strip.
17-12 the count. Whitted has 10 of her team's 12. Risky pass there as Ingram has to go to the floor to save it off the pass from Steed. And the jump ball's called. It goes over to North Gwinnett. And the Bulldogs will bring Kenesha Wilborn in for the first time, a 5'8" junior forward.
Good look at Peyton Whitted there. So many big men have trouble keeping that ball above their head, especially on the offensive glass. So much easier to score if you go directly back up with it. You saw Peyton Whitted have success doing that on the last trip down.
Schick back into the lineup for the Hawks, so a couple substitutions here as we ready ourselves for the final minute of the first quarter. Here is Gwinett, driving left hand, goes up strong, no good. Rebound Schick, she brings it down, and a quick held ball there, and this time it goes to the Hawks.
Thought that was a little bit of an out-of-control forced shot there from Peyton, but it's a matchup North Gwinnett likes, and it's one they're going to continue to explore, and you can't blame them.
See what the Hawks do here. You talked about girls basketball. They're not always content to hold for the last shot. Looks here like Hillgrove is pretty comfortable doing so. 20 seconds and counting here in this game's first quarter. Hillgrove's led the whole way. They're up 5, trying to make it 7 or maybe 8 with a 3. Here's Heyer spinning, driving, and Lexi Brown rips it free. 5 seconds for Brown. She didn't know it, and she flung it up there from half court, and there was still time on the clock. It goes out of bounds, and now there's only 1 second left for Hillgrove to try to do something with it.
Well, she's laughing that off, but she assumed because Hillgrove was holding for the last shot that they had gotten themselves close to the end of the quarter, and of course 5 seconds left.
Nina Rodrigo content to let the first quarter run out, and that's how the opening stanza ends. Hawks have a 5-point lead. Back to start the second on the GHSA network.
The Georgia High School Association develops and promotes opportunities for personal growth through interscholastic athletics and fine arts. The GHSA would like to salute its outstanding corporate partners: Georgia Farm Bureau, Regents Bank, Gatorade, Verizon, Sports Authority, Sports Medicine South, Georgia Army National Guard, Wilson, Georgia Select Leadership Corporation, the U.S. Marine Corps, and Mizuno. Thank you for supporting Georgia High School athletics. Today's games are being broadcast live on the GHSA network. Text your family and friends and tell them to tune in to all the action now at www.ghsa.tv. And fans get your official GHSA State Championship basketball merchandise by visiting the TIP booth located in the arena lobby. The opening procession of the second quarter is North Gwinnett.
Time to start the second quarter. The Bulldogs will inbound. Lexi Brown had a quiet first quarter with only 2, but she was very active. Scott, on the defensive side, you counted her for 5 steals in that first quarter.
Yeah, 5 steals in that quarter, and it's hard to believe that Hillgrove still has a 5-point lead despite turning the ball over with that kind of frequency.
Well, and Brown turns it over again, and so Rodrigo is going to run the show. She finds Ingram, who's been the show. Ingram might have been passing or shooting or whatever it was. The Hawks are able to keep possession of it. Now Rodrigo's going to settle things down a little bit. The Hawks have led by as many as 7. They scored the game's first 5. Here's Rodrigo hanging in the air, no good, and it comes off to the Bulldogs. It's Alexis Munlin who's been in off Coach Brian Sellers' bench.
Offers from Reinhardt and Shorter, 6-foot senior.
Rexing to Brown for 3, and that one's good. And Lexi Brown from Rexing.
Well, you can't leave her open beyond the 3-point line. She will make you pay, and on that play she did.
Talked with Coach Sellers before the game. He said Lexi Brown is a special player.
Hasn't
to do whatever he's asked of her.
Hasn't looked for her shot a ton here. Only 5 attempts on the night. 2 on 1 possession, offensive rebounds, only 3 real jumpers, and here you'll see she gets wide open on that quick double from Hillgrove.
Nice ball movement there, too.
If you're gonna double, don't double off of Lexi.
And the Hawks turned it over, so the Bulldogs have it again. They've climbed to within 2 now. It's 17-15. Brown playing off the ball, Rexing with it now. Rexing trying to enter it into the post. Instead, we'll dish it to Ariel Johnson. And now we get a whistle, and it'll just be deflected out of bounds. It remains with the Bulldogs.
Ariel Johnson's had a quiet game, 13-point scorer per game.
Rexing to Johnson, tries a 3 off to the left. And the Hawks clear the boards.
Seemed to rush that one a little bit, despite having a lot of time.
I like Rodrigo's game. It's very smooth. There's no wasted effort to it whatsoever. She wants to work one-on-one against Lexi Brown. Two of the better players in the state matched up there. Crossover dribble this time, and Marissa Lester nearly lost it. Rodrigo comes free with it and misses from 8 feet out on the left baseline.
Good defense there by Lexi Brown, and a good idea to not foul, make her hit that tough shot.
Brown, and there's a travel called against Peyton Gwinett. And we get a couple substitutions in the Hawks lineup. We'll take a look at Tanae Thompson for the first time. Thompson, 5'6" freshman. Meredith Heyer also returning the lineup. Selena Rodrigo looks like she might go the whole way.
Trying to get the ball down low to Mackenzie Ingram, but good job denying that pass.
Looks like a 2-3 zone here for the Bulldogs. Ingram, jump stop, and on the arm, you're going to get the ticky-tack one there, it looks like, on Alexis Munlin.
Those are the plays that you just got to avoid the foul on, because it's such a low percentage, high difficulty shot there from Mackenzie Ingram. A fading away runner across the lane. Force her to make that shot.
Ingram, another high arcing affair there from the line. It's no good. She started out blistering hot. She's still got 9 points, which leads her team in scoring. Another try here from the line and a chance to put Hillgrove. They haven't scored in a little while. And this one is good. That's their first point here of the second quarter. And it puts Ingram in double figures. 3-point game. Lexi Brown, crossover, now bounces it Rexing, high arcing three, and it's well short. But last touched out of bounds by the Hawks.
Well, Lexi Brown did a great job of occupying defenders. There are 3 players on Hillgrove's team were all focused on Lexi. Got her teammate a wide open look. Got to knock that down.
And it comes to Gwinett over to Rexing. And underneath, beautiful pass that time by Gwinett down low, and she finds her teammate Kenesha Wilborn for an easy bucket.
The ball moves faster than any one player can, and 3 quick passes like that will often get you a wide open layup. It did on that play.
North Gwinnett's within 1. They've never led in this ball game. They're the 4th-ranked team in the state. And a turnover here. Rexing's going to lead the charge ahead to Brown, working 2-on-3. Brown will wait, thought about finding Wilborn, and now kicks it back out to Rexing. Chance for the Bulldogs to take their first lead of the game. Gwinett is going to try a 3, and it's good. Peyton Gwinett puts the Bulldogs in front for the first time. Gwinett now has 13 in the game, and we get a timeout on the floor. We'll keep it right here. North Gwinnett's first lead comes at the 4:18 mark by a count of 20-18 here in the second quarter.
Well, that's just good, smart basketball there from Lexi Brown. Can't tell you how many times we've seen teams run when they don't have the opportunity. She pulls it back out, starts the offensive possession, and it gets Peyton Gwinett a nice open 3 in rhythm. Rather than forcing that fast break, you get an offensive set, you get an open look, and a big 3 as a result.
17-12 at the end of the first quarter, so an 8-1 run here for the Bulldogs in this second quarter. There's Peyton Gwinett, who's been fantastic here in the early going. She's 1 point below her average already. Just a junior. Looks like still a zone out of that timeout for the Bulldogs. Heyer inside, Ingram, nice ball fake, goes up and under, but can't get the finish. Offensive rebound though, Ingram tries it again. This one front of the iron, no, and it comes off to Wilborn. Tied up over there with Lester, and the possession arrow favors the Hawks.
Yeah, good job battling under the basket there from Marissa Lester. Earns her team another possession.
Heyer finds Lester, spinning, and a whistle, and it's going to be a Bulldogs foul. First personal on Rexing. From here on out, the Hawks will be in the bonus. 4 minutes to play here, still in the second quarter. Nearly a turnover here. Some fancy dribbling by Rodrigo. Had to save possession for the Hawks. Now she crosses over left. Jump stop. Nice pass along the baseline. Count that bucket there from Steed off a beautiful pass from Celine Rodrigo. Ties the game at 20. It's our first tie of the ball game. Rexing, backdoor cut, nicely done. Count that basket, and a foul on the play for Lexi Brown. Beautiful pass by Rexing and a nice play drawn up by the Bulldogs.
Nice little juke there. Ball didn't go anywhere, but Lexi Brown did a good job of faking out the defender. Got herself a nice little lane to the hoop and a chance at a three-point play.
Bulldogs with this free throw now have their largest lead of the game at 23-20. Lexi Brown has 8. 6 of them here in this second quarter with still 3 minutes and change to play before the break. You can kind of sense right now that North Gwinnett is asserting themselves. On the drive, lots of contact there between Lester and Wilborn, and Wilborn gets the foul.
Yeah, Kanisha Wilborn delivers a blow, a hard foul, saying if you're going to go to the line, you're going to feel a little pain while you're there. Make her pay for taking the ball into the hole.
There's a pair of 24s doing battle right there, and this 24, Lester hits the free throw. 4 for Marissa Lester. 5'4" senior. As you mentioned, getting some looks from Emory, so very talented in the classroom as well as on the floor. And this one is no good. Rebound tipped though and controlled by Steed. So another opportunity here for the Hawks. They're within 2 at 23-21. They led the whole way early. North Gwinnett took their first lead at 20-18, and they've been in charge since. Heyer spins, dishes it out to Lester, and back out to Heyer. Deep three, no good. Offensive rebound, Lester sticks it up, no. And finally, it's taken off there by Gwinett. Brown back to Gwinett. Now uses a screen from Brown to Johnson. Bouncing it to Wilborn. Wilborn in trouble, but finds Johnson. Johnson back to Brown. Brown spins to her left, puts it up with her right. No good, but a foul.
Really good move there by Lexi Brown. I think number 24, Marissa Lester, was sort of leaning left, expecting Brown to go right. Brown noticed it and spun back to her left as a result and freed herself up for a good look.
First personal on Lester. Brown now has 9 in the ball game. 18-point per game average. Second one good as well. Give her 10 and give the Bulldogs their largest lead of the ball game at 25-21.
She's had some monster games in the playoffs, a triple-double in the quarterfinals, and 20 points, 11 rebounds, and 7 assists in the second round.
Spinning is Heyer, pulls up. That one too strong. Rebound Brown. She's starting to take it over right now. Lexi Brown at 5'10", the point guard. Junior being recruited by Maryland.
Committed to Maryland.
Wilborn will drive. That's deflected. Rexing comes away with it though, and the Bulldogs will keep it. Gwinett drives, floats one up there, no. And the rebound to Ingram, who had it poked free, and it remains Hawks basketball with 1:38 to go here in the first half.
Again, I like the aggression from Peyton Gwinett, taking her defender off the dribble from all the way out beyond the three-point line. You don't expect a big to do that at 6'3", but she's got the skills.
Ingram, a versatile big of her own, with a touch at the top of the circle. Finds Steed. Now Lester. Very patient as this Hillgrove offensive attack. And a hand check's going to be called on Bailey Rexing. It's going to be her second. And I believe that's a 1-and-1. Substitution for the Bulldogs. Wilborn will check out. And on to replace her is Ariel Johnson. Or Alexis Munlin, rather. 20 instead of 10.
Speaking of Ariel Johnson, an awfully quiet first half for probably this North Gwinnett's second leading scorer, second best scorer.
Ingram was quickest to the rebound off the miss, the 1-and-1. She's now got 12, and Hillgrove's within 2 at 25-23. 1 minute to go here, first half. We've had 3 great ball games now. There is Ariel Johnson, the aforementioned. High post, they go to Gwinett. Now Brown crosses over, thought about a three, gives it up. Johnson will drive baseline. Back to Gwinett, spinning to her left hand, flips one up, no. Gets it back, goes to the right side and makes it home.
Yeah, just an unlucky break there for Hillgrove. Had a good defensive set there, nice stop. Ball falls right into Peyton Gwinnett's hands though.
15 first half points for Peyton Gwinett. It's good for game high honors. North Gwinnett has matched their largest lead of the game at 4 at 27-23. 15 seconds and counting now. Risky pass that Steed's able to come up with. Rodrigo looks inside, turnaround Ingram, no good. Rebound to Hillgrove, they save it to Ingram. Now to Rodrigo with 4, driving with 2, and she's fouled by Lexi Brown, and she'll go to the line here at the close of the first half. First personal on Lexi Brown.
Well, North Gwinnett's really come alive here in the second quarter. If they've had a bugaboo of sorts, it's been defending or rebounding the ball on the defensive end of the floor, giving up way too many second and third chance points to Hillgrove. It's what's allowed the Hawks to stay in this basketball game.
Only 2 points for Rodrigo. It's 10 below her average. And with 2.5 seconds remaining here in the first half, smart coaching move by Cheryl Fowler of Hillgrove to take some of her starters out in case there's any cheap foul call there in the scrum for the rebound. But there is no rebound because Rodrigo calmly sinks the second. 2 seconds left. It's into Rexing. Rexing is not going to get a shot off before the horn sounds, and that's how we go to the half. The Bulldogs trailed this game by as many as 7, but they've battled back to lead by as many as 4, and they're up by 2 as we reach the break. 27-25, North Gwinnett leads Hillgrove on the GHSA network.
We need the Harrison scorebook to the scores table, please. The Georgia Electric Membership Corporation is proud to present the annual GEMC Walker and Spirit Sportsmanship Award to regional winners throughout the state. GEMC, lighting the way. During National Disasters, the men and women of the Georgia Army National Guard save lives, protect property, and bring hope. Earn an extra paycheck, develop career skills, and get money that can help you pay for college. Be part of this unique force. Visit NationalGuard.com today. GEP Sports will televise Friday's finals live on Georgia Public Broadcasting and on the web at gep.org/basketball and GHSA.tv. GEP, your home for high school sports. Medical and athletic training coverage is provided by Sports Medicine South of the Gwinett Medical Center. The Gwinett Medical Center, the hospital Gwinett, Missouri, offers a wide array of high-quality medical services for high school athletes. Sports Medicine South of the Gary Redwood, Atlanta's orthopedic and sports medicine specialist, is the official medical provider for the GHSA. Georgia Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance is the official awards presenter of the GHSA. With offices in every Georgia county, Farm Bureau stands ready to serve you with multi-line insurance products and a host of other vendor benefits. At Farm Bureau, helping you is what we do best. The official basketball of the GHSA is provided by Wilson. Wilson, more win. Verizon is the mobile phone provider of the GHSA. Verizon is America's largest and most reliable high-speed wireless network.
Well, a tale of two quarters thus far for North Gwinnett, and really a tale of two quarters for Lexi Brown. Had 2 points in the first quarter, but 8 in the second. As we take a look at the halftime stats here, North Gwinnett's come on top by 2. They were down by as many as 7, and they really had a nice resurgence there in the second quarter. They took advantage of the offensive rebound.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Hillgrove is beating them on the boards, North Gwinnett, but they had a couple big offensive rebounds in that second half of the second quarter, and it sort of stopped that North Gwinnett run. But you pointed out the main factor, and that is North Gwinnett's really picked up its level of play directly when Lexi Brown did. And there's no doubt they're connected. As Lexi Brown goes, so go the Bulldogs, and she had one heck of a second quarter.
You know, we talked about this in passing during our halftime break. You look at the 25 points for North Gwinnett, it's come all courtesy of 3 players. Lexi Brown has 10, 8 of them in that second quarter. Peyton Gwinett has 15 points, and they've only got one other bucket from Kanisha Wilburn coming off the bench. 3 players have scored all the points for North Gwinnett, yet they still lead the basketball game.
Yeah, absolutely. Really kind of a shocking statistic, although that's sort of what they do, with the exception of they add one more player to that mix. Usually it's a 3-headed monster, if you will, with Ariel Johnson contributing. Shocking. 0 points there in the first half from a girl whose averages 13 points per game, is their only senior in the starting lineup, and probably their second most talented offensive player. But again, just 0 points in that first half.
You saw a look briefly there at the huddle for Hillgrove as they got set to start the third quarter of play. They've only got 3 points from their leading scorer, Selena Rodrigo, and it is North Gwinnett basketball to get us started here in the third quarter of play. Lexi Brown triggers, and we're underway here in the second half.
Yeah, and we mentioned second chance points, specifically Mackenzie Ingram on the boards, really helped Hillgrove stay in this game.
2-point lead for North Gwinnett. Bulldogs have led by as many as 4 on 2 occasions. Brown drives, goes up, contact, no whistle, shot no good, offensive rebound, and the follow that time for Jordan Hyatt.
Good hard take by Brown. She occupied 2 defenders, and it gave Hyatt the chance at the offensive rebound.
Hyatt picked up 2 fouls in about the first minute or so, and she was very, very limited. Nice scoring punch for her off the bench, and that's now 4 Bulldogs that have got into the scoring column. Hillgrove has struggled in that second quarter to find offense. They scored only 8 points in that frame. Rodrigo working against Rexing. Jump stop goes up, no good. Rebound tipped and taken out of there by Lester. Another second opportunity, and inside there's Ingram, and her shot's no good. Might have been partially blocked by Gwinett.
Good job by Gwinett at getting those hands up without initiating contact.
Johnson for 3, and now North Gwinnett scoring on all cylinders. 7-point lead for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, when she hit that shot and it went through the net, she let out a roar, and I got to imagine that was a lot of frustration from Ariel Johnson.
Well, I think that roar might be reverberating through the minds maybe of the Hawks players, because they're in a danger zone right now. The Bulldogs are starting to take this thing over. Gwinett has that one blocked away. Return to sender, says Ingram.
You know what? She's fortunate that was blocked, because it wasn't going in and probably would have led to a fast break in the other direction.
That's a good point. Here it comes to Johnson, finds Hyatt. Hyatt scored earlier, no good there. Offensive rebound, Gwinett, nice move. Stuck it back in with the left hand, and this has been the Peyton Gwinett show today. 17 points for Gwinett, 9-point lead for North Gwinnett at 34-25, their largest of the game.
Call it a beautiful pass from Hyatt, sort of gift wrapped for Gwinett, just fell in her lap, and she went straight up with it.
Leicester has trouble with the dribble. Hillgrove has been getting blitzed in this third quarter. All 7 points in the third have gone the way of the Bulldogs. Leicester bouncing it, and Steed, lots of contact, no whistle. She goes down, airballs the shot, and the rebound goes out of bounds, and it'll be Bulldogs basketball.
I'll tell you, for a 5'2" sophomore, Bailey Rexing plays awfully good defense, has good foot quickness, lateral agility, and did a great job there on ball defensively.
There she finds Brown for a 15-foot jumper, no good. Hyatt had a hand on the rebound, and now she's going to be called for a loose ball foul. Good positioning by Selena Rodrigo. She's 5'6", Hyatt's 5'11", but Hyatt commits her third foul.
Yeah, simple over the back, and you said it, it's all about positioning and leverage, and the smaller player won out there.
Since this game was tied at 20, North Gwinnett's on a 14-5 run. They've scored all the points here in this third quarter. Almost 3 minutes gone. Ingram had a big first half. She tries a long two and leaves it way short. Leicester, though, with the rebound, sticks it up, no. Rebound out of bounds, and this time it stays here with the Hawks. They'll trigger from right underneath the North Gwinnett goal. Heyer, who's been held scoreless. And it comes to Steed. Turnaround, no. Rebound, Hyatt playing with 3 fouls. Tell you what, something about North Gwinnett, every player on their team plays a role. You talked about Rexing. Hyatt plays a role. Whitted plays a role. Brown plays a role. They have very defined roles, and it works out well for them.
Yeah, and they have a nice traditional structure with the dominant point guard, the dominant big, and then Ariel Johnson out on the perimeter at the 3.
Brown 4-3. That one's no good. Rebound, Rexing at 5-2. Bailey Rexing kicks it out to Brown. She tries another 3. In and out, no. And an offensive rebound to Hyatt. She tried to tip it back up, no good. Deflected out of bounds by Hillgrove, and it'll remain with the Bulldogs.
Yeah, and down 9, things starting to get away from Hillgrove. The last thing you can afford is to give a hot North Gwinnett team 3 and 4 looks at the hoop on one possession.
And Ingram checks out for the Hawks. She's got 12 of their 25 points. Johnson tries a 3, no. Gets her own miss and sends it back out, and that time no good on the jump shot from Alexis Munlin. Coming up on the 4-minute mark. Turnaround for Steed. That one finds its home, and those are the first points of the second half for the Hawks.
Yeah, and big points to end this run, sort of get a little momentum back in the Hawks' corner.
Yeah, you're right about that. It closes off a 7-0 run to start the third quarter for the Bulldogs. Hillgrove shows a 2-3 zone look here. Leicester comes up to match up on Brown. She crosses over to her left hand. Fadeaway jumper, no good off the heel. And it's ripped away by Schick.
Not in love with that shot. Took 3 3-pointers on the last possession and a long 2 there.
Well, that was a beautiful pass by Lopez, but Schick was unable to convert the bunny. Now contact with Brown. Johnson not abashed to try that 3. And it's no good. Leicester with the board.
Too many shots from outside the paint right now for North Gwinnett.
Leicester drives, contact, and offensive foul on Leicester. Lexi Brown takes the charge. And I said Leicester, I mean Rodrigo, rather, with her first personal. And a short break for Ingram as she'll come on for Steed. Steed really plays a post player role at only 5'8". Right now, Hillgrove's got one of their bigger lineups out there with Schick and Ingram out there together. Let's see if that helps them on the boards where they were good in the first half.
And you said it, they need Ingram out there to really compete on the defensive glass.
Munlin gives Brown a high screen. Brown creative with that one. I don't know where she launched it from, but she scoops it home.
Yeah, nice little, you said it, a scoop finger roll of sorts and a lot of contact on that play. A nice physical offensive move there from Lexi Brown.
Second time the Bulldogs have led by 9. in the lane. Ingram there with an answer. She's really been the offense for Hillgrove with 14 of her team's 29.
Yeah, really impressed with her overall game for just a sophomore. A lot of good high school basketball left for Mackenzie Ingram.
Looks like Bulldogs will be content to take a little time off it here with just over 2 minutes left in the third. Brown had 8 points in the second quarter, 2 each in the first and third, and it remains that way as Schick takes off her rebound. Still a 7-point lead for the Bulldogs. There's a three from Lester. It's no good. Rebound tracked down by Munlin, and she nearly turns it over. Gwinett, rather, with that rebound. She nearly turns it over. Lester gets in the passing lane, but it remains with the Bulldogs. Right now, the momentum is kind of up for grabs.
Yeah, it is. Well, North Gwinnett went on that run and sort of bailed Hillgrove out here of late with a lot of long-range twos and contested threes.
Gwinett tries for Johnson. Oh, it wasn't designed that way, but she deflected it to Wilburn, but Wilburn wasn't able to convert the layup. Let's see what Rodrigo does here. She sends it ahead to Lester. Lester, count that basket. Aggressive move against Lexi Brown, the taller player, and Lester scores the bucket to give her now 6.
Yeah, really nice overall play. They're taking the opportunity to run, get out in transition, and find themselves an easy basket when offense has been hard to come by.
I'm impressed with Lester's finish there against Lexi Brown at 5'10" and athletic with long arms. Lester only listed at 5'4". Final minute to play now, third quarter. North Gwinnett was up 9, and since that time, the Hawks have scored 4 in a row. Rexing picks up her dribble, in trouble, finds Gwinett. Gwinett flirting with that mid-court stripe, and a timeout called, and wisely so, by Brian Sellers, the Bulldogs coach, as he saw his team maybe flittering away an important possession in the ballgame.
Well, we always talk, or everyone talks about the last minute or two of every quarter being the important one. A lot of times you see runs occur in those, that time frame, and I think Brian Sellers wants to make sure he can calm this team down, but also make sure he gets a good shot here. It'll probably be their last of the quarter. Make sure this possession counts, get momentum back going into the fourth.
Hillgrove jumped out to an early 9-2 lead. They scored the game's first 5. They led by 5 after a quarter. Bulldogs led by 2 at the break, and they're up 5 now with it, with 46 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. Johnson takes the inbound. Quick shot off a couple dribbles, and it's no good. Schick get a hand on the rebound. Rodrigo comes out there with it on the move. 1-on-3 break. Rodrigo goes up, jump ball, and it stays with the Hawks.
Nice job there, tying Rodrigo up. Would have had an easy look at the basket had Lexi Brown not made a nice defensive play.
Risky inbound that time. Hires pass is a turnover. Lexi Brown will try to push the tempo here with 25 seconds and counting. Out to Johnson, to Wilborn, driving in slow motion. Might have got away with the travel. Either way, it's stripped free by Rodrigo. And Wilborn, nice hustle play to deflect it out of bounds, but the Hawks get it back. Who wants a score here at the end of the third quarter? 15 seconds remain. And Selena Rodrigo will hold it on her hip as we reach the 10-second mark. Now down to 8. Working on Lexi Brown. Gets a screen from Lester, tries a 3. Way short. Rebound tipped up, no good by Ingram at the horn, and that's how the third quarter comes to an end. So Hillgrove scores the final 4 points of the quarter. Anybody's ball game. 5-point margin. Bulldogs on top as we head to the fourth in the GHSA network. Fourth quarter underway at Bulldogs basketball here. They lead it by 5. They score the first 7 of the third, but Hillgrove scored the last 4. And so it remains now a 5-point ball game. Rexing backdoor cut Brown. Shot too strong. Rebound to Rodrigo. Rodrigo looking ahead. Finds Steed. Turns. Spins. No. Rebound to Peyton Whitted, who's been a pleasure to watch today.
I love Lexi Brown's patience running this offense a couple times. One right there, which will slow the ball down and make sure her team gets a good look.
Whitted took a quick 3 and left it short. Rodrigo again will direct the offense for her team. Finds Ingram, defender. Hyatt had her back turned, and Ingram knew how to finish it. Nice pass that time from Rodrigo. Ingram has 16, and it's a 3-point game.
Well, I don't see any logical reason for Hillgrove to not continue to pound the ball down low to Ingram. Every time she touches the ball, something good happens. They haven't gotten it to her enough, though, here in the second half.
I'd say since the first 2 minutes of the game, as Hyatt gets it inside, had that one partially blocked maybe by Steed, and the Hawks come away with it here. Down by 3, Rodrigo, nice pass there to Steed. Good ball fake, goes up and scores, and it's a 1-point game. And although it's now 8 points in a row for the Hawks, what I was going to say is after the first 2 minutes of this game started, it really looked like North Gwinnett was in control in one way, shape, or form. But just like that, their lead's down to 1, and the Hawks have all the momentum.
Well, they've stopped scoring. Have found getting baskets at the offensive end really hard to do here, especially in that second half of the third quarter. And it's allowed Hillgrove a great opportunity to claw its way back into this game.
Brown on the drive, knocked to the floor, and we get a foul on the play.
One of the reasons they've struggled scoring a lot of outside shots, so you gotta like seeing Lexi Brown take that ball hard to the basket there and get herself to the free throw line. Again, manufacturing points when the outside shot isn't falling.
Higher called for that foul. Lexi Brown will shoot a pair. She had 8 points in the second, 2 in the first, 2 in the third, and she misses that free throw, and Schick comes on to replace Ingram, who's going to need a break so that she can finish this one out strong. Lexi Brown patient from the line, and she hits the second one. Back to a 2-point game. I think Rodrigo has played a good first 2 minutes of this fourth quarter. Over to Lester, and Lester had it stripped free, but a foul coming on Rexing, and that's going to be the sophomore Bailey Rexing's third. Where do the Hawks look here without Ingram on the floor? Lester has it to Schick. Turns, spins, nothing. Rodrigo takes it, goes up in traffic, and gets the roll.
Awesome take there. Dribble left and beat 2 defenders along the baseline.
Second tie of the ball game. We're tied at 20. We're tied at 37. Ariel Johnson finds Lexi Brown. Inside 6 minutes we go. Rexing for 3, and she's short. And Schick with the rebound, and a loose ball foul coming on Peyton Whitted after a nice block out there by Schick. Only the first on Whitted.
Again, a little confused by this second half offense from North Gwinnett, especially after the first half of that third quarter. Way too many outside shots, especially when you consider how good Lexi Brown is going to the hoop and how much success Peyton Whitted's had down low.
Rodrigo had it tipped by Brown. I've been having fun watching the two of them go at it. Open here is Higher, and it's no good. Would have been an opportune time for Higher to break into the scoring column. Rodrigo drives the lane and scores off the glass. Selena Rodrigo has put Hillgrove back on top for the first time since the first half. Excellent fourth quarter when it comes to winning time for Selena Rodrigo. Gotta be wondering where Lexi Brown is offensively if you're the Bulldogs.
Well, she's demanding the ball right now.
A couple claps in the face of teammate Rexing, and she gets it now for the closeout on Rodrigo. This should be fun. Lester looks on to help. That's a 25-foot three, and Lexi Brown buries it.
Well, you got to know who you're defending, and even though that seems or looked ill-advised, she was open, and she has that kind of range on her shot. You got to defend her farther out from the hoop than anyone else. 16 now for Brown. She puts her team back up by 1, and Rodrigo goes to the goal.
and gets fouled. They're going at it now, one-on-one, either against each other or just dueling. Gwinett called for the foul. Rodrigo lost her headband on that play. Guess she doesn't need it. First of 2 for Rodrigo. Good. Senior has 8 points. 5 of them coming here in the second half. Here's a look at Lexi Brown.
Again, you got to know who you're guarding, and this is not that play, but even though Lexi Brown was far from the hoop and that was a long distance 3, you've got to get up in her face because she has that kind of range.
9 points now for Rodrigo. She puts her team back in front by 1. Seesaw battle developing. Johnson working against Ingram, who's back on the floor. That ball was tipped by Rodrigo, but controlled by Rexing. Man-to-man defense now. Looks like for Hillgrove. The Bulldogs look like they were taking control of this ball game. They led by 9 at 36-27. Since that time, a 14-4 run. That's put the Hawks on top by a point. Nearing the 3:30 mark. Johnson puts her head down and drives. Finds Gwinett running the lane. Too strong off the window. Offensive rebound, stick back, no. And we're headed the other way. Nice comeback here in this fourth quarter. And late in the third is really when it started for Hillgrove. Gwinett jumps into the passing lane and knocks it free from Ingram. Deflects it out of bounds, and we get a whistle. And a foul coming here against the Hawks. It goes on Ingram, just her first. I have her for 2. And that's 3 team fouls.
And a good job of fronting that post up there from Gwinett. Adds a steal to what is now a double-double, 17 and 10.
Even she, though, has cooled off. Remember, she had 15 points early. She didn't score in the third quarter, and now Rexing is called for a travel after she lost her dribble.
Well, I just don't understand why you're down 1 in a close Final Four game and Lexi Brown doesn't have the ball in her hands.
I think Lexi Brown had a look that could speak 1,000 words, those amongst them, at Rexing after that play, and I wouldn't be surprised if Lexi Brown's not bringing the ball up next time down the floor for the Bulldogs. Inside 3 minutes to play. Bouncing it down low, they go to Ingram, and she knocks it home off the window. Beautiful pass there from Steed. Ingram now has 18 points, and Hillgrove's back up 3.
And again, that's been there all day. If they continue to go down to her, she will give you good results.
Here is Brown. Let's see if she passes it, not knowing if she'll get it back. She does give it up to Munlin, but now it's loose on the floor. Battled for, and the Hawks will get it on the arrow.
Well, that last possession said a lot. Someone other than Lexi Brown's probably going to have to win this game for North Gwinnett. If you watched that play, that was about as quick a double as you'll ever see beyond the three-point arc. And even a third defender came. Unfortunately, Lexi Brown couldn't get rid of that ball without turning it over.
Timeout by the Hawks. They lead it by 3 with exactly 2:30 remaining. We'll keep it here during the timeout. You see the Bulldogs huddle right there. And now look, the fans there fired up for this one for Hillgrove. I'll tell you, it's kind of an interesting conundrum, though, for Lexi Brown. You talk about someone else needs to win it other than her, but especially with high school players, she's only a junior. She's far and away the most talented, the most gifted player on the floor. The times that she's given it up, she hasn't been able to get it back.
Right.
So it's going to be tempting to try to take the shots herself. But it's been a nice job defensively and a good game plan by Hillgrove and Coach Fowler, knowing that that's what Lexi Brown's going to want to do here.
Well, I don't think she has to shoot it every time down. I think they're better served if she's taking the shot rather than someone else. She's the best scorer on their team, and it's not even close. With that said, whether she shoots it or not, the ball has to at least start in her hands. Whether she's shooting or creating for someone else, the idea of letting Bailey Rexing, no offense, great player, really impressive defender too, the idea of letting anyone bring the ball up the court or initiate the offense other than Lexi Brown is to me insane.
Rodrigo walks it up for the Hawks alongside Steed, Heyer, Lester, and Ingram. Rexing, Brown, Johnson, Gwinett, and Munlin, the 5 out there for the Bulldogs. Lester corrals a loose ball if they nearly turned it over. Underneath, they find Steed, fakes the pass, might have got away with a walk. And now the Hawks will pull it back out. 30 seconds have dropped off the clock. It's down to 2 minutes to play. Lester, contact with Brown, no foul call. And it's back in the hands of Rodrigo. And a foul given here by Lexi Brown. It's her second.
Generally don't want to be in the penalty, though I think North Gwinnett would rather be closer to the penalty than they are. 5 team fouls right now. It's going to at least take a little time off the clock before they can intentionally send Hillgrove to the line.
Timeout called here by the Bulldogs. I think that's exactly what happened there, and that's why they decided to give that foul. Hyatt checked back in right before the timeout for the Bulldogs, and she replaced Munlin. You look at the scoring column right now for North Gwinnett. 17 points for Gwinett. You mentioned the double-double. 16 for Lexi Brown. That's 33 of their 40. Ariel Johnson has another 3 of those. 2 each from Wilborn and Hyatt. I mean, they just have not got enough players involved offensively, and that puts them now in a difficult spot because it's hard to count on someone who hasn't really gotten into the flow of the offense once you reach this stage of the game with 1:48 to play.
And I don't think you can blame Gwinett or Brown. I think they've tried to get others involved. Rexing's had a number of looks. Ariel Johnson's had a number of looks that they usually hit. It just hasn't been there tonight. And what a turn of events. It doesn't feel like Hillgrove's taken over this game, but down 9 a couple minutes ago. Now they hold a 3-point lead with under 2 minutes to play, and the game is in their control.
Higher to inbound, finds Ingram, and contact there with Hyatt, and a foul called. I think had Hyatt not given that foul, which by the way is her 4th, Ingram might have been in trouble. Her momentum was leading her toward the backcourt, and a trap was coming.
Yeah, I think it's one of those instances where they were directly told by Coach Sellers to take that foul.
Well, the next one, the next common foul, that is, will send the Hawks to the line. Lexi Brown, pressure defense on Rodrigo. And we get a whistle and a foul coming here on Lexi Brown. And Rodrigo will go to the line, and all of a sudden that's 3 fouls on Lexi Brown.
It's worth pointing out, Rodrigo hits free throws right at a 74% clip. Not a bad percentage, especially at this level.
Well, the points don't show it. She's only got 9, but I thought she's been great since this run began, really, for Hillgrove. Front end of the 1-and-1 here, and it's no good. It rattles out. It remains a 3-point game. Brown pushes it ahead for the Bulldogs, jumps into traffic and scores the bucket there right over Higher.
Well, she had Ariel Johnson open, but she was never going to pass that. It was clear from about the time she got to the free throw line, had her eyes on the rim and went up tough to the hoop.
Down to a 1-point game, and a foul coming here on Ariel Johnson. And it's going to be more free throws for Rodrigo. Second personal on Ariel Johnson. Rodrigo, who just missed from the line, goes back there. This one is good on the front end. So Rodrigo's in double figures and leads back up to 2. Remember, it was 36-27. And then 4 straight points at the end of that 3rd quarter was kind of what kick-started this Hillgrove run. Rodrigo misses the free throw but gets her own rebound. And Ariel Johnson gives the foul.
Yeah, a lot of contact down low. Got to give credit, though. The ref didn't see it, and Macy Steed got away with a hold on Peyton Whitted, who no doubt would have had that rebound otherwise, and she's still talking to the ref about it.
Final 1-and-1 for Rodrigo, who's been 1 for 3 on the 1-and-1 attempts thus far.
But what a huge rebound.
Always with that little dribble to the side, and this time she connects. Back now to a 3-point ball game.
And how big that rebound will be if she can hit this second and make it a 2-possession basketball game.
She does just that. It's a 19-6 run right now for Hillgrove. 4-point game coming up on a minute to play. You've got to think Lexi Brown needs to touch it here. And bouncing it down to her is Johnson, and a nice finish on the reverse layup there for Lexi Brown. Timeout called by North Gwinnett. We keep it here. It is a full timeout, and that's 20 points now for Lexi Brown. Remember, she had 2 in the first quarter, 8 in the second, 2 in the third, and now 8 again in the fourth.
Yeah, and she scored pretty easily on the last 2 possessions, and it makes you wonder what this game would have been like had they not gone to her a lot more to begin that fourth.
I think you can say it more succinctly than that. I don't know if Hillgrove has any answer on how to defend Lexi Brown. I don't know if anyone could as well as she's playing right now. Gotta think
it's still North Gwinnett down 2.
First and third quarters, had they given her more opportunities, maybe they'd be sitting in a different position, but still just down by 2 with just over a minute to go.
Well, I think early on, Lexi Brown approached the game as if she wanted to get others involved, went to Gwinett early, tried to get Ariel Johnson involved early, and then said, I can take over when I want. She did that. Now, here in the fourth, though, is her time, and especially in those first 3 minutes, the ball was not in her hands enough, and I truly believe it's the difference in this game.
Munlin in for Hyatt in that timeout for the Bulldogs. They're down 2 at 46-44. And Hyatt having a little trouble getting it in. She finally finds Rodrigo, and Johnson gives a foul. That's 4 fouls now on Ariel Johnson, and 2 coming at the line for Selena Rodrigo. Rodrigo scores 12 a game. She's got 12 right now. 9 of those 12 have come in the second half. Rexing at 5'2", yields to Brown at 5'10" for a spot there in the lane. And that free throw is good from Rodrigo. I'm telling you, Rodrigo, there's something about her game. It's very steadying, the influence she's got out there.
You said it. She hasn't done it with points, but she's done a good job of leading this team in the fourth. They really cut down on their turnovers in a big way in the final period, and I agree, her veteran leadership has been huge here.
Back to a 4-point game. Brown drives. Oh, late whistle there. She had it stripped. That would have been a run out the other way for the Hawks, and this could be a 4-point turnaround instead of a layup for the Hawks. It could be 2 at the line for the Bulldogs in the form of Brown.
Refs keeping it close for internet.
I get you. I understand. Waiting for the rim shot. Brown easily sinks that one. 21 now for Lexi. I mentioned she's committed to Maryland. Maryland and hometown Georgia Tech, they played for the ACC Women's Championship. Brown hits both those free throws. A substitution here, Alyssa Munlin will check in to replace Gwinett to protect her from picking up fouls on defense. So it's a 2-point game at 48-46. Heyer's going to try to throw it long. She's got Ingram. Ingram hesitates and sticks it in. What a throw by Heyer. Risky play. And Ingram decided to finish it instead of taking it back out. It's back to a 4-point margin at 50-46. Time running out now with 45 seconds and counting. Loose on the floor. Timeout's going to be called here by the Bulldogs. We'll get another look at that run out for the Hawks.
You said it, high risk, high reward. I can't believe she even attempted that pass, because what a huge turnover it would have been, but either way, the big time center, Mackenzie Ingram, hauls that in, and then there's nothing the undersized defender can do from preventing that.
Wasn't that, though, the way that Ingram finished that? Exactly emblematic of her game, right? Just so steady. All she did was just ball fake it. She never left her feet. Didn't have to move anywhere, just very calmly used the window, and she's put her team in a good spot now, up by 4 with just 40 seconds and change remaining in this ball game.
Well, Ingram's had a huge game at both ends of the floor and has been dominant rebounding the basketball and in somewhat limited action. Had a nice long breather in the second and third quarters, and one of the most impressive sophomores in this state, there's no doubt about it. It seems like on the girls' side of things, there are more good sophomores than you'd expect.
Certainly seen Ingram show out today.
Of course, Diamond Shields and Lexi Brown, both of whom we've seen today, were sophomores last year and absolutely amazing.
Saw Taya Cooper rather, the sophomore. Here's a 3 for Brown, and that's good. Lexi Brown brings her team within 1. 25 points for Lexi Brown. And a foul given here on Lopez. If that's on Johnson, she might have fouled out.
I think it was it on Johnson or Lexi Brown? I think.
Yeah, they called it on Johnson. She shouldn't have given that foul.
It is, and it's her 5th.
She's in complete disbelief that she's fouled out. She picked up 4 of the 5 fouls all in this quarter. That's right. That's her 5th foul.
You said it. She is shocked. She was not apparently counting her fouls herself because, yeah, she's out of this game. No doubt about that.
So Brian Sellers is going to have to dig into his bench a little bit. Kenesha Wilburn's going to come on for one of his starters and mainstays there, and Ariel Johnson.
I mean, meanwhile, what a huge three-point shot from Lexi Brown. What it means is even if Hillgrove can come down and connect with both free throws, it is still only a one-possession game, and Lexi Brown will no doubt get another good look from three-point range.
That one's good from Rodrigo. It's back to a 2-point game. Rodrigo creeping up there. She's got 15. With that 3, Lexi Brown now has 25. And Rodrigo hits the next one as well. 3-point lead.
Could be heading to some free basketball.
Oh, Heyer jumps into the passing lane and steals it from Wilborn. A huge play from Heyer. Meredith Heyer hasn't scored in the game, but she comes up with the biggest steal of the game. And more free throws coming for the Hawks.
And you gotta love Brian Sellers' decision to allow Lexi Brown to inbound that basketball. You want your most skilled and smartest player with the ball in her hands. Shocking to see her turn it over in such a huge moment in this game.
Step into the free throw line, Marissa Lester. And the first one is good. Lots of body English on that by Rodrigo and Ingram as they help dance it home.
And Ingram, I've never seen a player smile more in a basketball game, save maybe Dwight Howard.
4-point lead, and this one makes it 5. What a huge turnover on that last inbound for the Bulldogs, and they nearly lose it again. Brown has to go to the floor to recollect it. It's still loose. Brown is tripped up, and a foul coming here against the Hawks. Chaos right there on that possession. And it'll be an inbound on the sideline for the Bulldogs, who trail by 5 with 21 seconds to play. Brown having trouble getting it in. And it's deflected by Ingram. And coming away with it is Lester. Lester trying to dribble time off the clock with 15 seconds and counting. She gets it to Rodrigo. And the Hawks are going to salt this thing away. 8 seconds remain as Rodrigo will head back to the line. Hillgrove is going to upset North Gwinnett for a chance to play the All-Powder Springs State Championship Final.
Well, it's only fitting that if North Gwinnett's going to go out, they're going to go out with the ball in their best player's hands. And Lexi Brown, for as good a game as she's had, 2 huge turnovers down the stretch, and just a junior, so she'll get a chance to come back and redeem herself next year. But this North Gwinnett Bulldogs team has got to be disappointed in this second half, specifically its fourth quarter, and has got to be thinking what could have been.
36-27 was the score with a couple minutes left in the third quarter. And since that time, a 28-13 run for Hillgrove.
And basketball is a game of runs, but it just never seemed like Hillgrove had taken over this game, but somehow on the scoreboard, they find themselves up by 7.
That's not what you want to do there. The Hawks commit a foul 90 feet from the goal, although they're not in the penalty.
Yeah, so no harm, no foul yet.
7-point lead, 8 seconds to play. Gwinett with 5. 4, tries a 3, no good. Offensive rebound, and it's stuck home by Wilburn right at the horn, and it's not enough. Hillgrove with a victory, 56-51. They're headed to the state championship to take on McEachern. Spectacular comeback there by the Hawks, and you can't say enough about Selena Rodrigo, who had 15 points in the second half and led her floor game particularly well for her team.
Yeah, it's tough to say how they did it, how they ended up taking momentum over. You got to give a lot of credit to the sophomore Mackenzie Ingram and that Hillgrove defense. North Gwinnett had control of this game late in the second half, but baskets didn't come late, and you got to give a lot of credit to that Hawks team.
Congratulations to North Gwinnett on a fine season. They got 25 points today from Lexi Brown, but a couple turnovers cost the Bulldogs a chance to play for the state championships. And tomorrow night, it'll be Hillgrove and McEachern to play for the 5A Girls Championship. We got one more left as we take a look at Harrison and Milton in the boys semifinals. Stick around for that on the GHSA Network.